I'm super excited that both now the Sherman and the King Tiger frenemies are both weathered up, looking good. Hello, tankers! It's James with Motion RC alongside Wesley Miller from Merry Boozers RC, who came to the studio to help us out with our tank arrival, if you will, because these things are super cool to weather and detail. So that's what this video is about. We are gonna have Wesley take us through just some quick and simple things that you can do. I mean, the things he did to the Sherman already. So he took our professional Sherman for us, as you can see here, and just gave it some interesting detail. So Wesley, just talk a little bit about some of the things you've done to the Sherman.
So some of the first things we did to it, I threw a wash over all the packs and the tools and things just to kind of bring out some of the embedded detail into all the plastic on it. And then we took our airbrush and kind of hit around all the weld marks. We made some runs on the tank. We did a little bit of dry brushing around the tank where we added some silver in where it looks like it got scuffed, around all the edges and things.
The edges around like the tools that are on there. You made
pin wash around the rivets. It's all, it's just something that takes a little bit of time, but man, the reward at the end of it, it's beautiful. Oh, and the other thing we did is paint the silver tracks black.
Yes, so, that was what we did. We did it very lightly compared to.
As you can see,
so the King Tiger's not been
silver.
Done. And the Sherman was. I mean, I love having the professional metal tracks, but it looks funny with the metal.
Bright silver with all the other...
Bright silver, and the beauty is, you paint it black, regardless of whatever you use. I mean, you could spray paint them if you want.
Right.
Once you're running them around on concrete, it's going to look natural.
Weathered. They're going to be scraped up a little bit.
That metal's going to come out.
Cool.
But unbelievable work. So, a lot of it just looks like it takes time. Now, I already pre-painted the guy on top. Yep. And then Wesley put a wash on him. Mm-hmm. And man, what a difference it brought out, like all the detail.
Yeah, a wash is really a neat thing because it sets in all the low spaces of the plastic. And it just makes shadows and things that your eye wants to pick up on. And it really adds that little extra bit of detail to it.
Yeah, and the biggest thing with the wash was when you did the gas
yeah, we didn't even realize it said US on it.
We didn't even realize it said G and USA on it until the wash hit it. And Wes was like, oh.
Hey, I didn't even realize it said that.
It says USA. But today, guys, just some of the things we're working with for, again, we don't want you to think this is by any means the only way to do something.
Oh, no.
There's still so much effort you can put into these, but we just had them. He had a little bit of time here. It's late tonight, and we were just rocking and rolling.
I'd say this is going to be a good beginner series, guys. You just got into tanking. You haven't really ran an airbrush, weathering, whatever. You're just wanting to get those basic techniques to make something that looks cool.
Yeah. So we're going to be using the Benchcraft compressor tank airbrush kit that we're selling now, and then just a bunch of mixes of paints, washes, guys, things like that. Obviously not on motionrc.com at the moment. Maybe it'll come in the future, but guys, Amazon, Michael's, craft stores, hobby stores are all going to have the different types of paints, and talk to those guys there. They're going to know their stuff because they've probably done it a lot more than we have. But just from what I've seen Wesley do, I'm excited for him now to take the King Tiger. And the difference here is the King Tiger is all metal on the bottom.
Oh my gosh.
So you got the road wheels and everything. And rather than taking them off, we'll show you a trick. We
were just painting them with them on there.
Yeah, I just started driving the tank as Wes was hitting the track with the brush.
And just painted them black.
And that was great. But wait till we show you the details. So you're seeing now up close shots of the King Tiger as she is. And afterwards, I can't wait to see how she goes. So I think that's it for us talking. So Wesley, what do you think the first step you're going to do? Airbrush?
Yeah, I'm probably going to just go on and start and hit some black airbrushing around the tank, get some of my colors popping out a little bit, and after that we'll probably do a small wash in some of the sections, and then move on to
some dry
brushing. Yeah.
Dry brushing.
And then from there we'll see what it is.
Yeah.
Tracks at the end, but we'll see what other kind of little details we need to pick out as we go.
Perfect, man. Let's get started with some airbrushing.
Yep.
All right, so the first step, Wes, we're filling up the airbrush with some black paint, acrylic paint, and we're just going to start detailing this thing. What are you looking for with the black paint?
With the black paint, I am picking out places like the straight runs of the weld marks, and I'm going to add some black on those. Around any of like the hatches, exhaust ports, the turret would be a good place to put some stuff. Around the top. Don't forget, guys, if you make any mistakes while you're running your airbrush, a little isopropyl alcohol is going to take it right off too. So I mean, we made a few mistakes as we went. We just rubbed it off, and that was good to go. As long as you're using this acrylic paint, which is what we recommend here.
Yes, I really like the drip marks, like the kind of the runs.
So, you know, I painted a lot of these initial steps and showed James how to do this, and then he took the airbrush or whatever we were doing, and then he did the rest of the tank with it. I mean, this was a great learning experience for him right here with me, and he did a fantastic job after I showed him kind of what he was doing, and he was like, yeah, this is awesome. But yeah, so we did a little bit of airbrushing, some drip marks coming off of things.
Then we went to some dry brushing technique, which was awesome. So a little drop of some silver acrylic paint, right down, you dab your brush, and then you try to wipe all that paint off on a paper towel. Make sure you don't see anything. And then you're just going back and forth. And this was my favorite part to do the cabling, the edges. Like, it just looks like silver scratches, and you know.
Yeah, James was just in love with this part. He must have spent an hour just doing this one method, and it adds a lot to it. It's very subtle, but when you get down on your tank, you really see this. And you can do this with multiple colors. You know, for time's sake, we just did silver. But you could always use, you know, some tans, some browns to get some rust colors into this tank.
Yeah, there's so much more I want to do with that, and I'm going to keep going with different colors.
Yeah, so that method works great on bringing out your highlights of the different parts of the tank. So, like on the gun, for instance, you know, you could paint the gun black, and then we took and chipped the gun a little bit, and it just brings out those raised details that little bit more. So your eye catches it and you can see it. You know, it's all about making that thing look a little rusty, a little crusty, not fresh out the factory.
Exactly.
That's what you're trying to do. And there's really no wrong way to do something. You know, that was the other thing I tried to explain is that as you're painting, oh man, I've got to run here. Well, it's okay, you know, that something ran out of that port. It's okay. You're weathering it.
Yeah. Whatever happened, who knows where this tank was.
You really can't make too big a mess, you know?
Yeah, and then you also showed me a little technique. We got a little sponge with some brown, and we were doing mud along the edges.
Yeah.
Around the mud flaps.
So,
and
you know, find you some old piece of foam that's, you know, a foam pad of some sort. I've used...
Actually, what we used was a piece from inside, like a transmitter case.
Right, like a transmitter case would be a great one. And you don't need very much of it. You cut a little bit off and you use it to do the whole thing with.
Yeah.
And
we just did a little brown on those edges, but...
That technique is what they call chipping, and you're just trying to make random patterns, and that's why you use the sponge instead of like a brush. Because with a brush, your tendency is to just make the same dot over and over again, whereas the sponge forces you to make random patterns out of your mud. Or
chunks
or your dots of chips in there. That's why they call that chipping. So
so that was really, really...
just adds that little bit of detail to it.
Really awesome. Then the next thing we did is Wes had some wash, if you will. So it was like a, what does it call it?
Wash is a very thin...
The numb oil?
The gnome oil. I can't ever say it right. It's, but it's a wash, so you can make your own. Just remember, you take your paint and then you water it down like crazy. So you're going to start with like, it's like a 20-to-1 mix to make a wash, and you just play with it until it's very opaque. You set it on something, and I mean, it runs down it, and you can see right.
And for that, blacks, browns,
right? But there are pre-made ones, which we were working with them today. It's just easy enough to grab a pre-made wash and do that.
And there we were filling out all like the welding and the shadows, like rivets. We didn't do them all, but like bolt heads, things that were just anything that black.
Anything that's got a depression in it that'll fill up with a liquid. I mean, you hit it with it and it runs down in there, and then when it dries, it just leaves a little bit of like a black smudge or a brown smudge or whatever color you have in those holes, and it just makes them pop out to your eye. Like I said, when you look down on it, that color just, it makes it look deeper. It makes it look like there's a shadow in there, just like if you were looking at a real tank. That's the whole point of a wash. So, and if you have your man, once you get done painting him, you run a wash over it, and it runs all into the the
The
cracks and
folds in
crevices.
his shirt and stuff. Yep, like the guy on my Sherman.
Right.
You took them and made them even more.
Yeah.
Pop even more.
Wonderful base to start with, and then we hit them with the wash, and it just brings that little bit out.
That was awesome. And then lastly, guys, so again, we wanted to do the track. So we have the professional version, which is great. I mean, the weight behind it's 11 pounds as is. But all the road wheels on the King Tiger, all the hubcaps, all the track is all metal. And it just looks awkward, you know,
like it's all silver.
To the rest of being that it's all silver. So we just, since there were two of us, so maybe grab a friend.
Right.
What we did was, well, first we probably should have did the tires first.
Right. If we were to do it again.
If you're gonna do it right, take it all off.
Right.
Do it all separately. But we were kind of in a rush, and it's getting late. We're going, but we just thought it was funny. We were just doing it. We were just driving the tank in the air, just holding it up. And one of us was hitting with the gun, and we did all the bottoms of the track black. And then we did the sides. We put tan in. We found a tan. I wanted a tan that sort of matched the tan on the tank itself. So we found the closest we could. I ended up spraying those. And then you could see it put tan back on the track. So then we just went back over the track with black.
And the good news is we're weathering it. So we didn't mind if the tracks had some black on the road wheels. Yeah. If there was some black on the road wheels and there was some paint missing here and there, it didn't matter because this is a weathered tank. So it's got to look like it's been out doing stuff. If your wheels look perfect and the rest of your tank is weathered, then something looks wrong to your eye. So it's actually okay if you miss some spots while you're painting the road wheels. It just adds to that effect of
that was a lot of fun. You just see how fast it went, you know, with the air gun. I mean, this Benchcraft thing is a champion. We've been using this compressor.
Yeah.
We hadn't turned it off for about 4 hours. Yeah, pretty much all day. Because we were doing planes too.
And,
he painted my B-24. I mean, it's been going.
The Benchcraft compressor has just been holding up like a champ. I mean, we've literally ran it 6 hours today, solid.
Yeah,
like never turned it off.
Yeah, you can't really go wrong with the Benchcraft stuff. And there you have it, guys. Again, just final look at the professional version of the King Tiger, which is just awesome. And I can't wait to continue on. And man, look what you can do. Obviously, that was 4 hours, but with a buddy, I mean, that was a fun 4 hours.
Yeah.
You know, we were just enjoying every little aspect of it. He was showing me. He's such a good teacher, Wes. That's why you guys should check out the Mary Boozer RC channel, because he's doing stuff like this to his planes, and now he's going to be doing them to tanks, and I'm sure he's going to be doing them to construction vehicles, maybe, and
soon enough, right?
You know, whatever else,
everything to come, right?
I could just think on the construction vehicle that
make it the dirty,
the silver dry brush is going to look great all over that, you know.
And I mean, they actually have simulated mud you can get, and like put simulated mud on them. I mean, you can go as crazy as you want with these guys, and that's
he told me he's going to take, because you have the Tiger one and the Panzer IV.
And I'm going to do the
winterized
one where they would take and they'd mop this winterized white paint on it, and it would always get scratched off and it'd fall off. And it's a really neat technique that you use hairspray. So yeah, come check it out when we do it.
Man,
and
when
it's
he
going to
does
be a lot of fun.
I'll make sure to post on it when he's going to do it. So if you follow our social media, Motion RC, you're going to know when Wes is going to do it. But Wesley, thank you so much. I'm super excited that both now the Sherman and the King Tiger frenemies are both weathered up, looking good, and we're going to continue on. So guys, airbrush stuff, very easy, and we'll have more videos coming. I know Alpha does some crazy, he's got a thread on Hobby Squawk right now where I think it's a King Tiger that he's working on there, and you know, a lot of guys now, we're getting Hobby Squawks filling up with tank guys who do all this stuff, and you know, I'm no expert, and Wes is more of an expert than I am, but he'll never say he's an expert.
Not an expert. There's so many ways of doing it.
There's so many ways of doing it, and the best way to do it is have fun with it.
And
if you're having fun, then that's all that matters. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. We hope some of these techniques can get you inspired to go out there and weather up, whether it's a tank, an aircraft, or whatnot. Thank you again, and guys, check out the Mary Boozer RC channel. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time at Motion RC.